Is that the Klamath River flows free for the first time in 100 years because of dam removal.
We actually talked about this a ton in our podcast. This is how long it's been in the works, right? And even it was in the works well before we started the podcast. The removal of it's the largest dam removal and river restoration project.
Don't glaze over that. Hammer down on that
point. The largest dam removal project in the history of the United States.
Never has a bigger one ever been done in the history of the United States. This dam removal is bigger than anything anybody's ever done before.
Yes. So they began working on this in 2023. Actually, the removal process, they began working on 2023. And then in August, just, a few weeks ago, a month ago, they actually finalized, they actually got rid of the final dam. So there were 4 dams that they removed, and the Klamath River now flows freely. Now, why is that important? It's important for a lot of reasons. One, and let me just get this out of the way. Those dams were not for water storage. Water storage is super important. We'll definitely next week talk about the site's reservoir, which just cleared a major hurdle. But water storage, like Shasta Dam's important, Lake Oroville's important. These were not water storage dams. These were hydroelectric dams that produce electricity, but they are so outdated that the amount of money it would take to update them in order to grab electricity and to fit into regulations, modern day regulations, it just wasn't worth it. So actually, it's a smart financial decision to remove them. This is something that was built with public money, and private companies were able to gain the electricity and then sell it off. So it's a good financial decision for California. Also, salmon were decimated by these dams. Decimated. I mean, just Northern California in general, they talk about being able to walk across rivers on the backs of salmon. The salmon runs were so great a couple hundred years ago. There were just no salmon left. So now these salmon can, and I think it's going to happen very quickly, and especially because they have a new fish hatchery that they're actively trying to promote new salmon. But finally, and not last, but certainly not least, is the Native American culture surrounding this river. This river, is critical to the Native American communities up there. And so they have their river back. They have, the fish that's so important to them back. I think it's good all around.
I agree. I think that this is the beginning of seeing a lot more of this. We're going to be seeing a lot more dams removed for similar reasons. If it's not up to date as far as standards, as far as how we look at the local environment. I mean, the fish population was a huge part of it. Especially, our father's been talking about this story for so many years, and now seeing it come to fruition. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more of this in the coming years.
Yeah, so there are currently, I believe, 6 dams sort of being considered for removal throughout California. The biggest one would be the Eel River Dam, the Scott Dam on the Eel River, which I believe there's 2 actually on the Eel River that, if removed, would create California's longest free-flowing river. So the Eel River is longer than the Klamath River, right? And it's in a similar position. PG&E owns it. PG&E doesn't get enough electricity out of it. It doesn't want to pay money to update it. It doesn't want to pay money to, comply with regulations. So they're like, yeah, it's not worth it. Let's get rid of it. And so not only, again, no water storage. So not only are you making a good financial decision, but then you have steelhead and salmon that get to swim through to the Eel River. So this is a new trend. Again, if you don't know about if you're not up to date on this stuff, this has nothing to do with water storage. I am huge into Sites Reservoir. That's the new lake that they're trying to build in the next 10 years. That's going to bring significant water storage. We need to build stuff like that. Like Sites Reservoir is really good because it just takes it like sucks water out of the Sacramento River, puts it in a lake, and just keeps it there. You know, it's not. You wouldn't stop the Sacramento River anywhere. You wouldn't build a dam. And I think stuff like that is we just need to get better with our technology instead of ruining these ecosystems while we're trying to get water.
Absolutely. It's outdated stuff. I look forward to seeing.
Klamath River is back, baby.
Yes, sir.